No.
Okay, now I
Um,
hit record, but it's
okay,
okay. We're
got
gonna be
it.
super, super chill and relaxed, just having our chat. Like,
Yeah, totally. Like I haven't really planned because I don't want to feel scripted. So, like I have
no.
thought about what we're going to talk about, but it's you, so we'll just be chatting.
The funniest part is trying to make it shorter than like an hour.
So, yeah,
How is
sorry.
that
I'm
even?
gonna
How is
I'm
that
gonna
even
be a
gonna
hard.
be
I don't
possible?
know. I'm gonna be a hard one because I talk too much as it is. Anyway,
I love it. I love it.
I
You're one
love
of the
talking to you.
you're a wonderful storyteller. So I mean, the
Oh,
way
thank you.
the way you tell everything is gonna be awesome because you had, first of
You
all,
think?
okay, let's this is officially now Dope Nostalgia, and
Hi.
my amazing friend from Australia, from Sydney. She's live from
Hello.
Sydney.
I am.
This is
Do you want to
Jenny.
see? You want to see? Like I really am
I'm
live
taking
from
a
Sydney.
screenshot of that Sydney Opera House
Woo!
right there because I can't believe that's right there.
I
Oh,
know. Guys, this is not my house, but I am staying here tonight.
so she's literally sitting in front of a window with the Sydney Opera House and the ocean in the background. It's like, wow.
Yeah. Oh, there's a boat down there today as well, but I don't think you can see it. Anyway.
Well, is it a cruise ship?
Yeah,
You guys probably get cruise ships on the regular in the Sydney Harbor, eh?
we do. It's become like the next cruise destination. So, hey Donnie.
But when you go
And
on a
KOTB
cruise,
cruise.
when you go on a cruise in Australia, are you literally just going like where could you possibly cruise from? Will it go
Yeah.
over like the ocean, like far?
Yeah,
Or
we
will
do go far. Like I've been to like sometimes it goes to New Zealand. If a
Mhm.
short one, it'll literally go out in the ocean and then come back.
Oh.
I've gone to one that went to where did it go? New Caledonia,
Mhm.
and like Numia,
Okay.
and then like Mystery Island was like where we stopped off at. It's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, so we sort of go towards our islands, or you can go down to New Zealand and Melbourne and that
So
sort of place. So.
so going to New Zealand would probably be the furthest destination, wouldn't it?
Actually, no. I think like New Caledonia is further. So that I went on
Yeah.
a cruise. The only cruise I've been on was like 7 days, and it was like New Caledonia. But we were like on the water, just cruising, literally for like 2 days of nothingness but the water.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah, except there were
Amazing.
no new kids on there. So
So no, forget that boat.
yeah, no, no. They had a lot of musicians though. Like it was like a music performance cruise. It was really cool.
Today I was like doing some grocery shopping and I bought some sunscreen, spray on sunscreen for the
Yeah,
cruise. And I'm
yeah.
thinking to myself, do I want the lotion or the spray on? And then I'm like, well, if it's not a new kid putting it on me, I'm just gonna have the spray.
You just gotta have the spray. What kind of experience do we have to do or get to have like a new kid applying sunscreen on you?
Oh, I know. Like I'll always watch that YouTube video of that girl who got the back
Oh
rubs,
yeah.
the or
Oh,
the body rub.
I can't watch it.
It's so like
I can't do
um,
it. I can't watch it.
it's hot, folks. It's hot. This is gonna be a hot episode.
I get too salty. I can't do it.
I'm so jealous.
Like stop touching her.
So we've told everybody, obviously. So you're from Sydney, and
I
for
am
those who don't know, who's your favorite new kid?
Jordan Knight. Who's
Which makes
your favorite new kid?
I'd say Jordan Knight. I would say that's
Uh
part of
huh.
what made some of our travels together this summer so fun because we got
Amazing.
two Jordan girls driving around California, just like
In a Tesla.
in a Tesla, in a white Ford Bronco. Before that, driving around
Oh
California like we're
yes,
OJ.
uh huh. I didn't kill anyone though. I really didn't.
No. Oh, and also it must be said that contrary to rumors that were persisting from what you were saying earlier, you did a great job driving.
Thank you very much. I did
For
not kill anyone, and I didn't run over that deer. I was just
no,
following what the Tesla lady
the,
told me to do,
the
and she was
deer,
confused.
she did not hit the baby deer we saw. She didn't
No,
hit it. And
no,
also, like, for instance, you were driving on the right hand side of the road, which you're not
I
used to,
was
and you were
right,
fantastic.
right. Yeah,
In
thank you.
major cities, it was great.
Thank you. I had to end up tuning out my backseat drivers because they had people telling me to like drive down the wrong way street, and then I learnt a few. So here in Australia, when you make a U-turn, we say chuckayui, and I think my favorite one I heard was flip the bitch, bitch. Sorry, can I say that? I just said
Yes,
it.
you can. Yeah, you can swear. Oh my, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember you kept saying those phrases. It was so
Flip the
funny.
bitch. I know, it was funny. I think I learned that in Sacramento. Flip the bitch.
Where do we even begin? Now,
I don't
you
know.
of all of the blockheads that I know, you had one of the most interesting, exciting, and extensive experiences doing the mixtape tour, coming all the way from Australia, starting off in what city and ending at the very last show?
So my first show was San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did all of California with all you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last show on the mainland was Atlanta, Georgia.
Ah,
Peaches. And then I went home and was depressed for like 3 weeks and then went to Hawaii and did all the three shows in Hawaii, which was amazing.
PCD, and then you got back
Oh,
into
it's
it.
rough. Yeah, it's rough. I think I just need another tour announcement so I can maintain my mental health. Please, Donnie. Tell me the world tour, what it's gonna
You've
be, where
gotten
it's gonna be at.
you've got an addiction, and I like it.
Oh, you know what? There is no going back, is there? Like, this is
No,
not like I did it once and got it out of my system. This is like, I literally, like, I miss the guys. Like, it's like they're like my friends or something. I know they're not, but I feel like, I feel empty. Like, I
this
haven't
is
seen them.
no, this has become like a big part of our lives, and it's also been like where we've cultivated a bunch of like super good friendships. So,
Absolutely. Thank God for
so
the
it was,
internet.
I know. So you have an Instagram channel that I'd like to plug.
Thank
JK's
you.
Mental Shot.
That's
JKS
right. Yes.
underscore mental shots.
Thank you. I'm on YouTube as well for some edits. That's
That's
it.
true. Yeah, you do some great edits on there too. So
Thank
make
you.
sure you guys follow her if you don't already. I think a lot of the JK girls out there follow you.
It's getting bigger.
Yeah.
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 So it's
How many shows do you think you went to?
well, I can tell you because I knew you were going to ask me this. So
Be
I did.
prepared.
I'm prepared. I did 19 shows in the US. In US, do you guys say mainland? Because I say mainland. So
Mm, yeah.
yeah. So US mainland, I did 19 shows. No, I did not do all of them. No, they were not
No.
all meet and greets. And then I did three Hawaii shows, so 22 altogether.
Woo! No wonder.
Woo!
Withdrawals. But I love that
Seriously.
you went all the way with it. And it was cool seeing you girls in Hawaii too. Everybody looks so beautiful in their
Oh,
like
thank you.
tropical dresses and stuff.
You know, it was really special because I'd met all these people on the mainland.
Hmm.
And then for them, you know, they were in this exotic place as well. And so it was like we both traveled somewhere. It was no longer me coming into their hometown. So you
Yeah.
probably felt this. And then so everybody was staying in hotels and wanted to catch up. And it was really fun. Yeah. It was like a big reunion of love.
No kidding. Now,
Yeah.
when you started in San Diego, that's when you first met everybody for the girls' trip, basically. Hey, like the
Yes,
majority of
that's
the people
right.
who were coming out.
That's right. Because we'd only chatted online before that, and a lot of the girls had been chatting for longer than I had. I think you added me to a chat, and I really only started my page in September last year, whereas other pages had been going for like 2 years. So I'm quite new to this whole world, I guess.
It's growing fast. And like even just when
Yeah.
you were going on your Instagram lives during shows, during the Wahlburgers, St. Charles, the unveiling of their star and everything, you had a lot of viewers.
Naomi, I didn't understand what my life was because Jenny McCarthy came on, and I was like, "What is happening?" I
She's
was like,
watching her
"Oh,
husband's ceremony on your
right."
Instagram live.
I was like, "Oh, hey, Jenny, like we're friends or something." And she was so funny to me because someone said, because I think I said to her, "Oh, what are you doing? Why aren't you here?" And she responded, "Oh, I'm too hungover." I'm like, "That's great."
Probably just like, well, she lives really close by. Like,
Right.
did you get to meet her on the tour?
So that night, so that's a little story. So that night, and was it that night? Yeah, because it was the night two in Chicago at Rosemont, and she happened to be there. She did say that she was going to be at the show. I asked her, and then so she was at Barstool, and I actually posted a picture for their anniversary that I just sneakily took on that night. But I can't sit down sometimes if the security lets me. I'm just like dancing all in the in the aisle, and so I was really close to where she was. So I actually waved at her,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know if she knew who I was, but she was on my live and I think she saw my face. And then she waved back and said kind of hi. And then I was a bit shy, so I thought, oh, I won't bug her for a selfie or anything because everybody was. And I wasn't in bar stools, so there was a security sort of tape between us. But about halfway through the show, security came to grab her, I guess, to take her backstage to say, for Donnie.
Mm-hmm.
And as she's being pulled, so she's being like dragged, she grabs me, pulls me in, gives me a kiss on the cheek, and says, "Thank you so much for the live this morning. That was amazing." And I was like,
She
oh,
knew.
what's happening right now? She knew. I was like, oh my God, I love her. She's so nice.
What a feeling that must have been that Jenny was like paying attention
Right.
and knew who you were and stuff.
Uh-huh.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and Donnie was like, saying hi to me from the stage and stuff. I'm like, I just know that couple. Whatever.
I mean,
It's crazy.
for the amount of adventures you had, I'm sure that you have some stories chosen already that you'd like to share.
Sure. It was hard, let me tell you.
I bet trying to narrow
Yeah.
stuff down. There's going to
Okay.
be, but I know you've got good stuff. So let's get into it.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I decided that I should, so this might be a bit long. You can cut me out and stuff like that. I should share my ridiculous birthday
Yes.
because it's very funny, I think, and sweet. It's sweet and then it's funny because of me, not because of the guys, because of me.
Hmm.
So, okay, so the tour really started because I was like, if I can see a show on my birthday, I'm gonna do that. So that was Milwaukee, the Milwaukee show. Um, so the day before Milwaukee, my friend Lindsay, she texted me and said, make sure you get to Wahlburgers tomorrow morning before it opens because Donnie's going to be there. And I was
Before
like,
it opens.
really? Before it opens. So that, in case there's a line.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I wasn't planning that, but I was staying in Chicago at my friend's place. I thought I'll get myself there. So, and apparently that's what you do. You go and Donnie might visit and stuff like that. So I ended up doing that in a couple of towns. But anyway, so I did that. I got to Wahlburgers and got there, and he came at about 1:30. And so what he does so for people that have done it, what he does when he comes in, they make an announcement and they say, Donnie's coming in, he's going to take selfies with his phone, so stay where you are and he'll take the selfies and then later he'll post them on social media.
That's
So
smart.
yeah, right, because otherwise he gets rushed and everything.
It takes forever.
Yeah, so he did that. He came in and he's making his way around. Then he takes his selfies with Lindsay and her husband, and then I'm next to them. And then Lindsay points at me and says, "Oh, it's her birthday today." And Donnie he can be quite quiet for those people that haven't seen him that way. He can be,
His
like
voice level is quiet. His volume level is quiet, I found. When he's
right, but he can also be very calm when he's not in meet and greet as well. So he
mm-hmm.
can just be like, he's chilling. So
Mm-hmm.
so he was quite calm, but he gave me a long hug. As he got to know me better, the hugs would be longer. So I like that. I love hugs. And he gave me a long hug, and he didn't really say much. And but in a previous meet and greet in Salt Lake City, when I introduced myself, because I would introduce myself, "Hi, Jenny from Sydney," every show to every single guy, and he said to me, "I know who you are," and I kind of squealed in his ear, "No, you don't." So so that was like, I don't know, like a week before that. And then so when he was hugging me in Milwaukee, in Wahlburgers in Milwaukee, I said to him, "Do you really know who I am?" And he sort of let me go and just gave me like a defeated look and walked out. And I thought, oh my
That
God, I've
does
just.
not answer your question.
Right. So then I go, oh Jesus, I've just offended Donnie Wahlberg on my birthday and I'm seeing him in like an hour. Like, what have I done? So I'm like a little bit upset, but whatever. Anyway, so we get ready and we head to, that day I had bar stools. So that was like my second bar stool, and that's what I had planned for my birthday. So, we did the meet and greet, and as I walk on stage, I say hi to Danny. Danny's lovely as always. And then I turn to Donnie, and Donnie has a huge smile on his face, and puts on like a Valley Girl voice. That's what I call it, like a, LA Valley Girl voice. And he's like, "Oh, hi! It's been so long since I've seen you. Do you remember me? Do you?
And then you knew. Wow.
So I started laughing and I clutched his hands and I said, "Okay, okay, I get it." Um, and I move on to Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you know this story with Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
So I did
Lay it
something
on us.
really dumb, really dumb. And what I'll preface to say is that I'm short. I'm about 5'4",
Mm-hmm.
165 centimeters. If for people that don't work in feet, and Jordan's like almost 6 foot, right? So he's tall. So I'm not very tall next to him, and I don't really have heels on that day. I just like fairly flat sort of shoes. And I was the first Jordan girl, so I was on his left, which means my right arm is around him. Now, he doesn't know this, and hopefully one day I can tell him so I can apologize properly, but he's probably forgotten this. But my right arm, I actually have a nerve injury on that arm. So I can't actually extend my arm very high. It kind of goes, it just drops. It just stops at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I say hi to Jordan. He pulls me in for a photo. He gives me a little hug. And he's fairly quiet that day. He's masked up. And and up to this point, he had been fairly quiet and fairly reserved and not really saying too much back to me.
Mm-hmm.
I say to him, "Oh, it's my birthday today. I'm so happy that I can spend it with you." And he kind of gives me a nod and then a little squeeze to acknowledge that I've said that. And then, anyway, the photos get taken, and then he kind of looks down at me. And for those of you that have met him, his eyes are incredibly intense. And I had something planned to say to him, but at that point when he's looking at you in the eyes, my brain had exploded to a million pieces at that point.
It's
And
mush.
it's mush. But the look he gave me was almost like, "I want to say something to you." And I had the same look. So we were both just like looking at each other like we have things to say, but we can't say it. And I thought, "Oh, I'm over. My brain's out. So I'm just going to give him a pat on the back, like a little rub on the back to say goodbye." But he's tall and my arm is around his waist, like not very high around the waist. And I sort of go to rub his back up and down, but my arm doesn't really go up. But it went down.
Oh.
And I accidentally touched the top of his bum, the top of his bottom. And the second I felt it, I like retracted my arm and I was like, "Oh my God." And then in the loudest Jordan voice I've ever heard off stage, he jumps back and he goes, "Whoa, handsy."
Oh no.
And at this point, I'm mortified, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like so embarrassed and I'm saying, "Oh my God," I'm literally holding my face and I'm saying, "Jordan, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that. I'm so sorry." I think I couldn't look at him at this point. And I still had to say hi to Joe and hi to John. And I'm just repeating, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And Joe's like looking around like, "What's going on?" And John's like, "What's happening?" And then I hear, in my mortified state, I hear out of the corner, from my side, Jordan saying, "Oh, I liked it." And I've shut down at this point. I'm so
Wait,
embarrassed
so
and so angry with myself.
you've just apologized to him for the accident,
Yes.
and he's like, "I liked it."
He's like, "Oh, I liked it." And I'm like, because let me tell you, I always get very angry when people touch him, right? Like,
Yeah,
you
I
know, like I
know.
think that's so rude. And like
There's
the
been a
last thing I
lot of
wanted to do,
uncalled for and inappropriate grabs at them that have to stop. But yeah, this is
100%.
not the same type of situation. This is not.
No, I
Yeah,
absolutely did not mean to do that. My
exactly.
arm betrayed me. I'm like, I need to stand on the other side so that doesn't happen again.
Hmm.
And so I'm mortified. I basically want off the stage because when you do barstool meet and greets, it's on the stage.
Hmm.
And so I'm like holding my face. I can't look at him. I can hear him say, "Oh, I liked it," and kind of laughed. And then I say really high, a really quick hi and hug to Joe, and a really quick hi and hug to John. And I'm holding my face, and I go off the stage. And I look so distressed that someone actually said, "Are you okay? Can you talk about it?" And I'm mortified. Anyway, so I get off the stage, and the other two girls that were after me. So the other girl, the other Jordan, well, she's actually a Joe girl, but she's still with Jordan that day, turns and says to me, "Oh my God, that was so funny." And I said, "I can't believe I did that. It was a total accident. My aunt," I'm explaining. And she goes, so her and the girl that stood with Donnie both then came up to me and said, he kept talking about it. And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, no, he can't be talking about it." And I'm still like, because when you come off the stage, you kind of go back to where your bag is. So they're still doing meet and greets, and I'm just trying to die in the chair because I've just accidentally molested Jordan. And the girls are like, "Yeah, he kept talking about it." Because he said to both the girls, so not just one, because like he said it to her and then said hi to the next girl and said the same thing to her. And apparently he said to both of them, "Did you see what happened? Because if I did that, I'd be in so much trouble."
Oh, Jordan. Hashtag damn it,
So,
Jordan.
hashtag damage Jordan. So, anyway, I thought I'd share that story because it's a ridiculous story about what I did. But his reaction was beautiful. I can laugh about it now, but on
Yeah.
the night I thought I'm going to be a meme because then I had people coming
You
up to me going, "How was Jordan's butt?" And I was like, "No."
that they actually want to know. That no, but I mean, like, and you and I had talked about it shortly after it happened, and I think you were still in the whole like, I can't believe
I
that
was
that
so upset with
happened.
myself.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Anyway, so
that's okay because going forward, you got to meet him several more times, and everything was
yeah, he was fine.
fine.
Like to be fair, I think like thinking back through the experiences, I think Jordan really does take notice of the Jordan girls. So I think the first show that I was standing with him was Vegas, right? So my first show I stood with any of the meet and greet was in San Diego, but I was with Joe. And in Vegas, I was able to tell him it was my first time with him, and I introduced myself and I said, "Oh, you're my favorite. You've always been." And he thanked me, and I think he tried to remember me from that point
Hmm.
because I had told him that. And he'd obviously kept seeing me. So he would never tell me that he knows me, or he's never called me by my name or anything like that. But there's been a lot of experiences in the shows where I realize he recognizes me. He knows who I am. And I think he knows, I'm not too out there, and I'm really respectful of him, and I'm quite calm. I'm
Yeah,
excited, but I'm calm. And I think he likes that and respects that. So he doesn't, he feels safe probably around
yeah, you're
that kind
not
of energy.
exactly. I think energy with Jordan is a big thing. If you come at him like just freaking right out, I think he kind of shuts down on that because it's just too much
Right.
for him to handle.
Right.
But yeah,
And
the
he
energy is
probably
everything.
right, and he probably quite enjoyed my mortified freak out.
He probably thought it was
And-
hilarious.
yeah, I think he
That's why he
did
teased you
because
like that.
right. And then Lindsay, like I'm even going red a little bit just thinking about it. And then Lindsay was saying that, out of all the meet and greets, she didn't know what had happened. And then I told her later. And she said, "Oh, well, that was the best reaction from Jordan, really." And that he was like the happiest that she'd seen him, and the like most relaxed she'd seen him all like up to that point in the tour. And in fact, he was funnier than Donnie that day. And I was like, okay, so maybe I made him laugh. So
Mhm.
anyway, that was meet and greet in Milwaukee. And then Donnie did something amazing, which I posted on my page, and I can always share the video with you if you wanted to. But so I had the meet and greet. I'm mortified, and then I'm thinking, I just can't look at Jordan. Wasn't expecting anything from him, and anyway, but Donnie. So during the concert, I think Joe came out and did a little interaction with me, and sort of danced with me and block party and kept going down the T because I was sitting kind of
It's like,
towards the end of the shaft. End
where
of
in the shaft were you sitting?
I was, if you're facing the stage, it's on the left side towards the end of the shaft, towards the top of the T.
Yes.
So that's where I
The
was.
head.
The Stop it. But yes, and during summertime, the you know that bit where they Jordan does his falsetto bit. I'm not gonna do it because I don't have the voice, but they're doing the his falsetto bit, and
When the snow comes down.
snow comes down. Summer ended. Yeah, that bit, and so they're like in formation, and I'm at the end of the T, so I've got a really good shot of them on my camera. And then Donnie is dancing and stuff like that. So the bit where they say "without you," Donnie points like into the audience "without you," and then lands on me, points straight at me, and looks at me like really intensely, and then goes mouths "you, yes you, I remember you."
Oh, he's driving it home now.
He's like, "You don't ask me that again," and then he laughs and he runs back off stage. So that
Mm.
was amazing, and I think when he did that, my camera shakes a bit because I basically clutch my heart and I go, "Yes, I get it now. You know me," and he smiles and he runs off stage. And then to
Oh,
top off the end of the night, which this was my birthday, to top off the end of the night, he Donnie comes up to me and grabs my phone and we take a selfie. So that
aw.
was my amazing birthday that happened. So it was yeah, I think that I thought that was a good day of stories to tell you about. And it kind of
Of
shows you
course.
what Donnie is like and what Jordan is like as well. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm
So
glad to hear about the Jordan interactions too a lot because he can be so quiet that you always wonder what did this person do to get him to talk. Like
I you know what? I honestly feel like it's time and trust.
mhm.
Yeah. And he was by Hawaii, he was like we weren't having hour long conversations obviously, but he would actually say things back to me in the meet and greets
Oh,
much
good.
more than before. But he was also very relaxed in Hawaii, more so I think than towards the
Nice.
beginning of the tour. I feel like he was very anxious and you could feel this nervous energy. But from like, I felt like from after Chicago, there was a switch up in his mood and his energy, and he was a little bit more relaxed and things like that. So
I think
yeah,
especially after the last 2 years that we've had as a world, I think like some of us are handling COVID in different ways. And it's so really hard, I think, to make a decision to go out on a like big tour like that. And
100%.
especially to decide to do meet and greets when you're putting yourself out there every day in front of hundreds of people coming up,
Exactly.
hugging you all the time.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you are nervous about getting sick or keeping yourself
Yes.
healthy for the tour or whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's anxiety driving. Like that's tough.
100%. And I really like, I'm really thankful for them for
Mhm.
choosing to do that because they didn't need to. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Salt and Pepper didn't do this because it was going to be behind like a Perspex wall, right? And
Yeah.
then I did an En Vogue meet and greet. Those women are amazing.
That was one thing I wanted
And
to ask you about is because you're the only one I know
oh,
who
yeah.
went to the En Vogue meet and
Oh,
greet.
really?
Yeah,
Those ladies are stunning. Like, I didn't know they were in their 60s. Like, what the?
I know. They are
Um,
gorgeous.
they're so nice, Naomi. Like they were really chatty, and I told them like what I was doing, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, you're like you're such a loyal blockhead," and they complimented me on my jacket.
Mhm.
But I couldn't touch them, and in the photo we were apart. So
But they
and they
made
were
it cute.
masked. They made it so cute. So
Yeah.
they were really nice, and they were really lovely ladies with a like a really, I think their spirits are really light. You know, like when
Hmm.
you're around them, you just feel light. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were amazing. But yeah,
I'm glad
yeah,
you got the chance to do that. That's
I
something I would
know.
love to
Me
do as
too.
well. But there was
They
just
were
so much
really
going
nice.
on.
Oh my god, so much going on.
I had to pack so much into 3 days myself, and with only like you really blow the budget when you do all these meet and greets.
You do, but they're so worth it. They're
I
so
I
worth
would
it.
I would do it again in a heartbeat. I would do bar stools again in a heartbeat.
Oh, the problem is once you go barstools, it's hard to go back, right?
Mhm.
So, like next time, I think I'm just gonna be barstools and do less shows, but barstools and then front row because front row is very good for me to shoot as well.
Yeah.
Barstools can be a little bit harder, but it's really great for interaction.
I want to do the
And
bar stool at the head
yes, at the captain barstool, right in the middle.
eventually.
And you need to do an ultimate. I mean, they're amazing.
I really
Yeah,
want to do that. Ultimate,
yeah,
for those listening, Ultimate is an add-on to the meet and greet and 5-star package where you get to have interaction time with the guys for a few minutes and get your pictures
yeah,
taken with all of them. And yeah, I
yeah.
want to do that, but I was actually kind of like the idea of it scares me a lot too, because I'm afraid I'm going to say something stupid.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like, I think by the time I got, because it was my like third last show, I think, in Atlantic
Mhm.
City that I got my ultimate. And I thought I was going to be super nervous, but I'd met them like 6, 7 times before that. So, not
Mhm.
that that made it any better, but I think Danny, when you come in, Danny really puts you at ease.
Yeah.
And then if you work your way through the guys, like I was with Joe for a while, like I told my story in a live, so you can always go on my page and look at that one, but I'll repeat like my favorite Jordan story from an ultimate, I guess.
Yes.
But Joe was very funny, and so was John, so they kind of put me at ease. And then I kind of said, because at one point I was standing with John and Joe was talking to me, and Jordan was on the other side of Joe. And I said, "Oh, listen, I love you guys, but I need to stand next to Jordan because I'm a Jordan girl." And Joe moves from me, and then he says, "I'm a Jordan girl too." And I'm like, "I know, Joe. This is why I love you." But anyway, the guys, like when you're with them, you're chatting to them a little bit, but Paris, the photographer, is snapping away, and they kind of know, right? They're so used to like just posing, and a lot of it is about photo moments for a lot of the fans. I think for me, it's more about the interactions, but of course, I love my pictures with them,
Mhm.
and they kind of crowded around me. So I was in a night sandwich, so I had Jordan on one side, clinging to him. That wasn't clinging, but I had my arm around him. He had his arm around me, and then my other side was John, right? Favorite place, and Joe was on the other side of Jordan, and Donnie comes up to me and he points at me and he goes, "Wait, let me take a mental shot of this moment." And then the guy starts
Oh.
singing. And I think I let go of Jordan at that point because I'm so excited that Donnie is like acknowledged, because I never said anything to him about my page, but he
Mhm.
follows me. And I said, "Oh, Donnie, thank you so much for following me." And then like I'm then talking to him and talking to John, and we were supposed to be posing for a group photo, and Jordan turns to me and he goes, "You just talk through all of that."
He's sitting there waiting for you to pose for these photos.
Yeah, and he's like, "Stop talking to Donnie. Like you're always like I'm always talking to Donnie, but I don't say much to Jordan because I just freeze."
Mm.
So he says to me, "You just talk through all of that." So I apologize, and then I pose for a group photo, and then I think the guys kind of separate out a bit, and then I'm like posing for a shot with the Knight brothers, so then I get a nice shot with the two of them. And then Jordan says this to me, and I'll never forget it. And it's so sweet. Like, he pulls me over and he says, "Let's get one of just us." Like it was for him or something. And I was like, "Yes, please, thank you."
Aw.
And then, you know, I think I melt and I put my head on his shoulder and I'm just like melted into him because he's just asked for a photo of us like he wants one or something. He doesn't. And yeah, so like he's very sweet that way. Like I think you don't think he's paying attention. He is. He's just shy.
Yeah.
That's all. And I think this is my psychoanalysis. I think it would be hard for him to maybe be, especially now, be too flirty or say too much to someone if he doesn't really know them because people will take things the wrong way, right?
He has to, I think, be on the watch because I think he gets a lot of people who interact with him inappropriately, and he has to kind of be on guard.
Yes. So I think he's very careful with what he says. I also think his brain is very fascinating and he works on a different wavelength to the rest of us. So, I mean, I could probably tell you one more story that sort of describes that. But so I love that because I can't predict what he's going to say. So you can go in thinking, I'm going to say this to Jordan, I'm going to say this to Jordan, but you don't know what's coming at you. So there's no point sometimes. Yeah. So sometimes I don't plan. I just go in and be like, oh, hey, you know, this. And you get a bit of interaction that way as well, like I think. Because I think a lot of the times people go in and talk at them. I love you. You did this for me. I've loved you since, you know, how do you respond to that? You can't. But if you go in and
If you're hearing
you're
a lot of that
chilled,
every day, the same things, I mean, for like 30 years, it's kind of just like, yeah, all you can really do is smile and nod and say thank you.
yeah,
And
exactly. And I guess I had the opportunity to see them, to meet them 8 times, or actually it's more like 11. So, you know, I ran out of things to tell them. Like, I'm not going to sit there and tell them, you know, like, so
you're like, hey guys, what'd you have for lunch?
exactly. Hey, what you do today? Pretty much. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So like in Mount Pleasant, so this gives you a bit of a thing about what he's like. Well, it gave me insight anyway into understanding him a little bit more. And I think that's what you need. You need to take the time to understand him and put yourself in his place and, you know that he's shy and has anxiety over this stuff. And so that's what I try and do with him. I do that with everyone, but with Jordan, I tried harder. So in Mount Pleasant, which was a awful show where
Was that the outdoor show?
there was the outdoor show that people were very drunk and, you know,
Oh.
I think John got upset because during tonight he was molested somehow.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was awful. And I mean, I had panic attack just watching Jordan because the crowd like swarmed him during tonight. And I knew some of his security men couldn't get to him. And I was like panicking watching him. But leading up to Mount Pleasant, I'd watched him kind of cough and start to get sick, like a bit sicker, and I'd watched him like hold his throat. He'd turn his back to the audience, and you wouldn't be able to tell if you just listened to him. But when you're up close and you have Jordan vision like I do, you know, sometimes when his back was faced to the audience, he would actually hold his throat like and try to not cough into the microphone and stuff like that. So, and in Chicago, I could see in his eyes that he was just really tired. And I'd been worried about him. I just wanted to make him soup, you know. I just wanted to look after him and make him soup like a mother or something. And I think it was like a 4 or 5 day gap between the Rosemont show and Mount Pleasant, and it was like Father's Day in between, so they had a couple of days off. But they were shooting Farmhouse Fixer. And so at the Mount Pleasant show, I said hi to him, introduced myself as per usual. We took the photo. And I sort of looked up at him and I said, how are you feeling? Are you feeling any better? Not a trick question. And he like looked at the floor. He's hugging me the whole time. Like, so he's not offended. And he's looking at the floor and he's thinking and he's thinking. And I'm talking like not a second or two, like 15, 20 seconds of thinking. And I'm like, this is not a hard question. Why is he thinking so hard? But I patiently look at him and wait. And he comes back with when? Not, not a very typical response. And I said, oh, I saw you in Chicago last and you looked sick. You didn't look too well. And he said to me, oh, I'm just really run down.
Mhm.
And I said, yeah, I can imagine that your tour schedule is insane. But you had a couple of days off. Did you get some rest? And he really shot back really quickly, no. And he shot back really quickly, no. Like short and
No.
quick, no. And then I think I looked at him with sad puppy dog eyes and I said, oh, like, why not? Like, oh. And then he looked at me and he threw his head back and started laughing. He was messing with me because
Aw.
I was worried about him. So that's Jordan. Like, I think he really thinks about, like, why are you asking this? Maybe he was taken aback because somebody actually took the time to ask how he was.
Or maybe he
And
didn't, maybe
he,
he thought he was hiding it well better.
maybe, and, he was like, when? Like, who asked that? But
Yeah.
yeah, and, so I thought that was interesting. That was kind of probably my first, apart from Milwaukee, it was probably the first like back and forth in terms of almost having a conversation with him in the meet and
Yes.
greet. So that was nice. And then it got better after that, I think. So yeah.
Between all the meet and greets and then just the interactions with friends, some of the things we did
Oh my
were
goodness.
insane. We you and I drove from Sacramento to San Francisco to meet up at the
Yes,
Airbnb and do
we
some more
did.
touristy things, right?
We
Before
did.
we
I
moved
love
on.
that. That was such a fun time with you guys.
We did a few Instagram lives from the car.
Yes, we did.
And like I remember when Anna and Ness and Pam were in the car, wasn't I reading to them some like really naughty New Kids fan fiction?
I'm pretty sure you were. That's right. I was trying to concentrate and drive a Tesla, and you're reading me fan fiction. Come on.
It was so raunchy too. I'm just like, is
I
anybody
know.
I'm like, does anybody here get offended?
And I'm like, I'm operating heavy machinery. Do not say taint.
Just lots of giggles and laughs and
Oh my goodness, it was really fun. Yeah.
yeah.
Sacramento, I had such a good time in Sacramento. The after party that Rat Tail threw was just so fun. And I think that's when you and
Mm.
I got to spend time together for the very first time properly, I think.
Yeah,
And
true. Too bad I
and you,
remember like very little. No, just
I
kidding.
was gonna say you weren't exactly sober.
Nope. No, when I fell in the street, you were there with
but
me.
but you know what? That was totally my fault because I tried to spin you and it didn't work.
That was the alcohol's fault, not you.
I
Normally, if
think
you
it was the
spin somebody,
shoes.
oh, I was
But I
wearing
think
sandals.
you were wearing like sandals and they came off and then I felt
Yeah,
really bad. I was like, oh my god, I'm killing her.
I was fine.
Yeah.
I was floating.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good. I know
no, it
your
was so
voice,
fun.
and that was the first time I'd ever heard you sing, and I was like, oh my god, she can sing.
I was wrecked though.
That was
So,
great. You were singing Boys to Men,
I don't even
spread
remember
eagle
doing
on the
that.
floor. It was
I
great. I loved it.
don't remember doing that. So
I'll remember for you.
I did apologize to everybody for the
No,
noise.
it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Oh, yeah, no, like
Yeah.
just those interactions with each other was so much fun and like
Yeah.
the Sacramento party, yes, absolutely. There was a real live lady swimming in the fish aquarium that was like a
Yeah.
mermaid at the
I know I
place
was
we're at.
told about her, but she really was there. She was swimming in that thing.
That was the dive bar in Sacramento. They
That's
have
right. Dive bar.
an actual mermaid show. I
Mm.
wonder if she had I was too drunk to notice if she had like a air tank or anything, you know? I was
No,
just
she
no.
didn't.
She probably
No.
just goes up for air here and there.
Yeah. I think she goes up for air and then just comes back down, does a dive.
But the big highlight was getting that Tesla because you had already
Oh,
wanted
wow.
to try a Tesla before thinking of buying one, right?
Right. I'm thinking of getting one. I have to get myself on a wait list here. And
Mhm.
that was one thing I wanted to ask Jordan about is which Tesla should I get?
Mm. Yeah.
I never asked him, but I did tell him that we drove one in San Francisco and I think I tried to get it out, so I said it to him too fast, and I got the confused Jordan look because I think he didn't understand what I was saying because I was like, oh, I didn't tell you this the other day, but, and then that first bit he didn't hear and he just looked confused at me, even through the mask. And then I told him that I drove a Tesla and that I loved it, and he's like, oh, Teslas are so cool.
Oh, Jordan. Damn it,
like a little
Jordan.
like a little boy. I loved his reaction. I was
Damn
like,
it,
they
Jordan.
are. I want one. Yeah,
I
it was
was
really cool.
I was going through that thing too, where it's like, okay, I saw them for meet and greets 3 days in a row.
Oh
And then
yeah.
by the last one, I never, when you mentioned, you said that you were a Jordan girl. That was really helpful, I think. I never thought to tell him that, but
Oh,
it did say night on the back of my shirt. So I could have been him or
right.
his brother, right?
Or yeah, I think it's always good to tell him that he's your favorite because I think he appreciates that and he tries to remember you.
Or make it that
I
much more special for you.
Special. Yeah, exactly. I think
Yeah.
so. Because like you can't compare him to Donnie, right? Like the
Nobody
Donnie
should.
energy, nobody should, and you shouldn't compare any of them to each other. But I
No.
think naturally you think, oh, Donnie showed me all this love. Like, where's my love? You're my favorite type thing. But they're different people, and
Mhm.
Jordan's role is very, very different. He's really the lead, so he can't do the same things Donnie does, and it's also not his personality.
Yeah.
But I would just say that when he does like come to you or dances in front of you or kind of looks your way or smiles at you from stage, I have to say there was a lot of that for me, so I did feel very special. It
Nice.
feels really really special because he doesn't do that all the time. I guess like it feels like
Hmm.
you've earned it. But yeah, so yeah, it was he's amazing.
Hmm.
And I think meeting him so many times, um, the level of respect is higher. Hearing him live, it'd been 30 years between concerts for me. I saw them when I was 13 and then hadn't seen them until this year. So now you guys
Wow.
all know how old I am. Or 12, I should say, 12 turning 13.
Hmm.
And I didn't get any of the hotness at 12. I didn't understand what I was looking at, but I get it
I knew
now.
I liked what I was looking at, but I didn't get
Yeah,
it.
I didn't get it, but I get it now, right? We all get it now.
Yeah.
But the respect for him is just through the roof on so many levels. The love for him is deeper on a lot of levels. I feel like the guys have this way of making you feel like you've made a true connection.
Mm.
On their end, it probably isn't. But I shouldn't say that because Donnie might kick me. Like, I think Donnie makes a true
He's not going to
connection.
let you to say it's here. He won't be hearing you say stuff like that. He won't agree. He'll
Oh,
be like, nope,
exactly.
I
So I'm
know
sorry,
you.
Donnie. I'm sorry if you hear this. It's just very like
Mhm.
unbelievable to me that you know me and that I feel like sometimes that I could just call him. I'm not going to, but there's been days where I've been feeling down and I feel like if I could talk to Donnie like my friend, I would just feel better. Like today, I will never do that to you, Donnie, but but that's the level of connection that I felt with Donnie and Jordan.
Mhm.
So some days I wish I could call Jordan, but that's never gonna happen. But also Jordan and I like Donnie and I. Like Donnie and I can talk to Donnie because my brain doesn't explode, but Jordan my brain explodes. So it's a bit
When
different.
as soon as I like look at him or in his eyes, I have everything I can't even think of what to do. But I do like
Exactly.
I did remember the things I was going to say to him,
Did you?
but when I try too hard to do that, then I kind of just forget about being in the moment,
Yeah.
right?
It's
So,
hard. It's hard, isn't it? Like you
yeah.
try and make a plan, but it doesn't work. It really doesn't. Because they're human and they might be having a bad day, they might be having a good
Mhm.
day, they might be feeling cheeky, they might be
Mhm.
cold, I don't know. So you can kind of just play it by ear and maybe have some loose things you want to say so you don't freeze.
Yeah.
But Yeah, but that's about it, really. Yeah, like introduce yourself, tell them something you enjoyed. I mean, who doesn't like compliments, right? And
That's
then if
what
you
I
have a question for
did.
them, yeah,
And I tried to be specific. Like
yes,
you can tell I do this with anybody really. If you wanted to compliment somebody on something they've done, just telling them they did a good job is like meh, but be specific. Like I liked when
specific,
you sang this song this way and you did that.
right?
It
Exactly.
works. It
So in
works.
so in so in Hawaii, I think were you gonna ask us about like what our top moments are? So
That
I
was
would
coming up.
say,
I was going to chuck a
yeah,
Yui in this conversation.
Shakuyui, flip that bitch.
That's a bitch.
um, so this is related to that. It is one of my top moments. But in on the second night, because they did a special Hawaii tribute, and
Mm,
they say Elvis was a big deal in Hawaii,
can't help falling
and
in love.
yeah, they sang "Can't Help Falling in Love," and I was literally crying. Like half the audience was crying, and I was shaking and everything.
Mhm.
And I said to I said to Jordan, like I said hello and everything, and then I said to Jordan, "Oh my goodness, you guys had us all crying last night with I Can't Help Falling in Love." And Jordan looked at me really surprised and said, "Really?" Like he genuinely I'm serious, he's so like not arrogant. He's so
It's
like
like a genuine
he
response.
genuinely was surprised, and I thought everyone should be telling you this, but he genuinely didn't know how people took it and how people were going to take it and whether people were going to hate it or not. And looking back at the videos when he first comes out and you look at his face, there's almost like terror, like how is this going to go down type thing. And he wasn't
Especially
sure,
if
and he did. I don't think
especially when you don't know how much they might have had a chance to rehearse or not, you know,
exactly.
how confident they were going into the performance or not.
Uh-huh. And they sounded absolutely stunning, of course. The Jodan vocals cannot be beat, right?
Yes.
And but he was genuinely nervous, I think, about how it would go, and I think he loves Elvis and really respects him, so he didn't want to muck it up. And so I told him that, and he genuinely was like shocked.
Mm.
And he said, "Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't catch that." And I said, "What, the crying?" And he said, "Yeah, I didn't see that." And he said, "But I'll be looking out for it if it happens again." And I said, "Well, just find me. I'll be crying. Like, it'll happen." And
And
I was like front, like second row that night. So
oh wow.
yeah,
Wow.
but
Yes.
but he was
Tell me these.
genuinely surprised. Yeah.
Yes. When I'm talking about your top three moments, I'm basically
Oh,
talking about like stuff that happened like this in the show. Like you said, that one there, that song, Can't Help Falling in Love. What are another couple moments throughout the mixtape tour and the show that really got you? Your
yeah.
favorite
So
things?
I'll finish. So Hawaii, I must say, all of the special Aloha ones, it was, it was so special, Naomi. Like, so Joe sang, "I'll Be There," and it
Yeah.
got me. I was ugly crying. I don't know. Like, I think thinking back later, it's because they've always been there for us, and
And
that
you used
song
to
really
sing
hit
that
hard.
song when he was younger. They used to,
A
him
hundred
and Danny used
percent.
to sing it to us.
Right, right, 100%. So it really got me, and then I love that Donnie did "Stay with Me, Baby." Like that
I
was
couldn't
cool.
believe it. And
That
you
was
bring,
so
oh,
cool.
and
And
the
then he was
girls would bring
like
up with him.
dancing. I know, so good, so good. So I have to say that's probably that the three was my all-time favorites in the Hawaii show.
Mhm.
Um, every night I really looked forward to the D Nice set. So
Yes.
the whole set, really.
Yes.
Like, I would freak out basically every night when it came on. And it's just the choreography, the way the music is mashed up, how much fun they're having. I loved all of it. How they did Twisted was very clever.
Yes.
The fact that they did Return of the Mac, that's like awesome. Well, full service. It's an amazing
Yep.
set, and I love D Nice
Every
as
time I
well.
hear
So
full service now, I do this thing with my fist.
the reverse, yeah, you got to go pelvis.
You're punching up into the air.
Yeah, yeah, and you got to do a reverse pelvic thrust. So it's a sit, sit, not a Yeah. Thanks, Kevin Maher. Is that how you say his surname? Maher.
Him and
I
Sunny.
love Kevin. Oh, Sunny. I
Yes.
adore Sunny. I adore
Shout
Sunny.
out to
She's
It's
like
Always
the
Sunny
best girl.
Walters.
Oh, yeah. Always Sunny.
But
Um,
yeah,
so that's probably my second. This is hard, Naomi,
I
because there's
know.
so many parts of the show that I just want to list.
Hmm.
But I really thought about it. I thought, okay, I'll say these three. And then probably the other part that I just loved filming is Bring Back the Time.
Hmm.
Because there was always something ridiculous happening on stage.
You had everybody who was in the show, all the groups, and Rick
Yeah.
Astley, and they're
Yeah.
all together and being goofy and silly and
They're
fun.
being goofy, and Jordan and Joe are always doing something weird.
That's true.
I've posted some on my page, but there was like I posted one which people liked. There was one show I can't even remember which one. It might have been Milwaukee. No, not Milwaukee. Boise, I think, because I was Barstools, and Jordan spots like somebody had brought in two massive printed out heads. One is Jordan's face, and the other one was
It's
John's face. Did you see that one?
yeah.
And then so he gets it from these people like that brought it from, so he gets it on stage and he immediately like makes a beeline for Joe and he like literally runs to Joe. Joe's like mucking around with Rick at that point. And then basically he was like, signing to him, you hold John and I'll hold Jordan and we can do backup dancing like behind Rick for Never Gonna Give You Up. And then they did that for a
Mhm.
little while. And then Joe like got bored and gives Jordan back like John's face and Jordan keeps going.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, there's some really good videos of that. I was thinking of
Yeah.
buying one of those for the cruise, but I'm like, I'm already bringing so much stuff.
How do you even pack that? I mean,
I
seriously.
don't know. No, I'm not buying a giant Jordan head, but the thought crossed my mind.
The thought crossed your mind. Maybe it needs to be a blow up head so you can like bounce it across
Speaking of blowing
the
things up, I got
Oh God.
I bought a floaty for all of us to use. It's going to
A
be it's
floaty?
a pool floaty.
How big is it?
It's the eggplant. I bought the eggplant pool floaty so we can just, all grab a
Cling
part of the
onto it.
eggplant. Yes.
Cling onto it for dear life. Try and sit on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not even going to open it. What's the point? It's going right in the suitcase now. I'll probably never get it back in the suitcase again.
Oh no, it won't go back in. Just leave it on the boat. That eggplant is so used now. You guys can have it.
You don't want to know what happened with this eggplant.
Yeah, yeah. Don't ask. Don't ask. Don't tell.
Jenny, before we wrap
Yes.
things up, I just want to make sure that you've had a chance to share all of the things you've prepared. So, how would you wrap things up to sum up your whole experience? Because wow, you got to do something really cool and amazing.
Gosh, you know what? I think I shared more than I expected to share. Thanks, Naomi. That's because I was talking to you.
I'm like,
Um,
I know. We're gonna get these good stories out of you.
um, Look, it was definitely like a dream come true. And, a lot of people say to me, oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky that you're able to do it. I'm not lucky. Well, I am, but I worked hard for it. So I think,
Yeah,
if you want these experiences, you make them happen. So,
agreed.
put in the time at work or whatever, do what you need. And, you don't need to do it at the extent that I did it because it was a bit insane. But, my circumstances had been a bit special in the last, 3 or 4 years that I could do this. And I
Hmm.
worked for myself, so I was able to do that.
Hmm.
But, for me, new kids have been such a big part of my life. And this was the way I could give back to them too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like to show up for them, to give them my love. The only thing I can offer them, and of course money in their accounts. But that's for me too. Like so
yeah,
and I think I've been blown away by not just the new kids, but the true love that you feel for the Blockhead family, all the
yeah.
women that I've met and have all been so positive and delightful and encouraging and just embraced me, even though just because I was from Australia. I don't know, but it's a feeling
No,
that
it's
I've
because you're
never
you.
really. It's because it's me. What does that mean?
That's why we embrace you, because you're awesome.
Oh, thank you. But it honestly, it is a feeling that I've never experienced before, a joy that I've never experienced before. And I think unless you're a blockhead and unless you're at a show, people don't truly get it. So I would just encourage everyone to, if there's opportunities or you want to go see something, do it. Do it for yourself. Don't wait. I think for me, I, 30 years of saying to myself, oh, I shouldn't spend that money to travel to the US to see the new kids. Like that's ridiculous. They're just a boy band. But they're not just a boy band to me. They've seen me through so much of my life. They don't know, but they did. And they've formed a lot of my personality, I think, because of their music and watching them live their lives, their work ethic and that sort of thing. I think, I've learned from that. So I think just do it. Just don't feel jealous of somebody else. Don't feel like, oh, they're so lucky. I can't ever do that. Just make it happen. That's all I would say.
100%.
Yeah. And bask in the joy. And just know that once you start, you can't stop.
It's an addiction. No, but I
It's
agree with
such
you.
an
Like,
addiction.
regardless of what anybody else may think, as I get older, I'm realizing it doesn't really matter what anyone else
It
thinks.
doesn't
What I
matter.
do, I'm doing things that make me happy. And if getting on a plane and traveling to the US to see one of my favorite groups get together with a bunch of friends, that's it. I had a blast and I'll do it again. You know,
Oh,
we got to
any
do stuff
chance
that
I can.
we got to do stuff for us to, life is short.
Right. And I know it took COVID to kick me into this gear, but,
Hmm.
you know, but they pulled me out of COVID. I was quite depressed during the COVID period, and they were the only things that kept me going, kept me happy. So I was like, okay, no more waiting. No more feeling guilty about spending money. Just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
because like I liked them for 30 years. I've always loved them, but during COVID, it got just more. I immersed myself more into them and the friend groups and things that were going on online, especially while I was doing a podcast that was nostalgic towards that era of music.
yeah,
So I dived right in and got right back into it, and I'm really
I
glad I
know.
did. And then I got to meet you and
I
everybody too.
know. I know. I feel like a different person, honestly. Like, who is this new person that knows Donnie and Jenny and Jordan recognizes you? Like, who is this person?